أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والضحى والليل إذا سجى والضحى والليل إذا سجى ما ودعك ربك وما قلى وللآخرة خير لك من الأولى والضحى والليل إذا سجى ما ودعك ربك وما قلى وللآخرة خير لك من الأولى ولسوف يعطيك ربك فترضى ولسوف يعطيك ربك فترضى ألم يجدك يتيما فآوى ووجدك ضالا فهدى ووجدك عائلا فأغنى فأما اليتيم فلا تقهر وأما السائل فلا تنهر وأما بنعمة ربك فحدث. صدق الله العظيم.
Rahim. Bismillah wa salatu wa salam ala rasulillah wa ba'd. First of all, I'd like to welcome everybody to our school. I can see a lot of our school parents, some of the parents from the nursery, some parents from our primary and some from the secondary. And of course we've got, mashallah, parents from the local community as well as other towns and different parts of the UK, mashallah. Initially today's program was actually for our parents. It was supposed to be to help our parents instill deep-rooted Islamic values for our children. When we heard Sheikh was coming and he accepted the invitation, we thought it'd be far better if we opened it up for the rest of the community to benefit. So that's why it's become the way it has. Unfortunately, our venue is very small. We're restricted with the number of people we can accommodate. So please forgive, we having to ask you to register, please forgive us. I'm not going to do Sheikh, I'm just going to ask him to start the program straight away. Hopefully Sheikh's going to talk for about 40 to 45 minutes. At the end, if there's enough time, we will, inshallah, open up the floor for questions. Sisters can send in their questions at events@westwoodhigh.org. We've already sent you that email anyway. Mothers who have children who may be unsettled, you can go to another room. So what you would need to do is leave the hall, make your way back into the car park, and there's a glass door you'll be able to see in the car park. There's an entrance. You can go into that room and inshallah stay there. And you can of course come back when your children are settled. Okay, I'm going to hand the mic over to Sheikh now, inshallah.
Oh, in the mic coat, bring my coat here, the one at the bottom. Okay, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, wassalatu wassalamu ala Sayyidina wa Nabina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Inna Allaha ya'murukum an tu'addu al-amanati ila ahliha wa idha hakamtum bayna an-nasi an tahkumu bil-'adl. إن الله نعم ما يعظكم به إن الله كان سميعا بصيرا صدق الله العظيم. My dear respected brothers and sisters, firstly, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. As part of the adab and the respect of the gathering, I want to ask you to only use your mobile phones if you're taking notes on it. If you've got your pens and books, whatever, you're taking notes on it, that's fine. But if someone's fiddling with their mobile phone, then it does disturb me seeing you fiddling with your, unless you're taking notes, that's fine, you can do it if you're doing that. Also, please make sure they're switched off. Like Monana said, if there's any children not settled, just take them out, bring them back, inshallah, once it's settled. So we've got a very short session here to talk about our children and the different stages of bringing them up. So first and foremost, you've got to look at the life when you don't have children. There are certain people here who probably haven't got children. Or maybe you're looking for your second child, your third child. The a'mal and the actions that the parents will do, those will have a direct effect on the children that are yet to be born. Because the the father, whatever part of him becomes a child, comes from within him. The mother, the same thing. So if they've got an attachment to the deen, the Quran, the more attachment they have, that's how much of an effect it will take place in child. Why? We know this from modern psychology. The DNA, the genes that are passed down, they are part of it is going to be the structure of that person and how they are. So the way they behave and the the way they conduct themselves will have a direct effect. And we can see this in parents that are, one is that the child will grow up in an environment where they see their father and they see their mother, and that will have an effect from the social environment. But the other one is that the very makeup of the person will have an effect. Now, when we read Quran, for example, there is nur, there is light that is entering the body. That will be there. So part of your child will get part of what you've got inside. Next thing is, okay, let's just say the child is born. Please keep a good name for the child. If you wanna know what your child's going to probably become when he's growing up, or when he grows up, then it's simple. Analyze all the people you actually have observed with that name, and then keep the name. Don't be a typical person, oh, I love that name because of the way it sounds, and therefore I want to keep that name, right? Because you keep the name, whatever name it might be, and then later on you'll see the effects of that name as a character in that person. So for example, all Ibrahims, if your name is Ibrahim, you're going to be an introvert type of person. You won't be an extrovert, you'll be an introvert type of person, but you'll be highly intelligent, but you'll have your own deep plans within yourself, okay? So if you want a child like that, then keep his name Ibrahim. That's what Ibrahim a.s. was, and that's many Ibrahims have the common things between them. If you're going to have the name Muhammad in there, then you'll have a very strong character in there. If you're going to have the name Isa in there, then there'll be a gentle character in there, right? Unless the second name is a strong one. Sometimes you get a balance thing between two names can balance a child. If you're going to keep Musa's name, then be ready. There's going to be some fire kicking off now and again, and there'll be some anger and so on. But you know what? It's got positives as well, which is anyone with Musa will also be very brave. Okay, have a lot of courage. Again, in girls as well, what name are you choosing? If you choose a certain character, you're going to get that kind of person in that. So, all Aishas are going to be intelligent, I'll tell you that. But all Aishas are going to also be a little bit challenging as well. They'll want to sort of, get to that boundary and sometimes see if they can push that boundary sometimes. Not in a bad sense, sometimes in a good sense. And these are things that are in the fitrah of people because of the name. So anyway, you've chosen the name. Now, the first big mistake a lot of people make is, oh my God, the baby's crying, is pick the baby up. Baby's crying, pick the baby up. Baby's crying, pick the baby up. Why are you picking the baby up? Oh, it's so lovely. Oh, so cute. The baby weighs 7 pounds at this moment. To pick the baby up now several times in the day is no problem. When the baby weighs 7 kg, it's going to be a different matter. When the baby weighs a lot more, it's going to be a huge problem. The thing is, when you start picking babies up and again, then parents start complaining. Now, you've put a burden on yourself for no reason. You do not have to pick up a baby. When he cries, you don't have to pick up a baby. You don't. This is the thing that we have. Oh my God, the baby's crying. Let's pick it up. Let's cuddle it. Now, what happens is, when you do that, the baby gets used to your smell, and the baby also finds a lot of comfort being next to you, and the baby will demand it. All the time he'll start crying because he wants to be picked up. He never knew what picking up was. Maybe he's crying because it's too hot. Maybe he's crying because he wants or she wants some milk. Maybe he's crying because he wants some food. There are a number of reasons why a baby might cry. Maybe he's crying because his nappy's wet, whatever the case might be. If you have a baby, you pick it up now and again, you leave it on the ground or in the Moses basket or in the cot, and it happily plays. Or even on the ground with a little bouncer, you keep it there in front of you. You're enjoying the sight, he's enjoying being around you, he's discovering or she's discovering. You know what? They don't need to be picked up. I've done this with 3 of my children. They don't need to be picked up. You can pick them up now and again. Yes, they need love, they need tender, they need care, they need hugs, they need kisses. Yes, you will give plenty of that. But you don't have to keep picking them up. Soon you start seeing these mothers and these fathers arguing with one another. Your turn to pick him up. Your turn to do that. I've done enough of that. Well, why did you create the situation in the first place? Okay, now Islamically, if you want your child to grow up in a good Islamic environment, please, there's 2 sides to this. One is the zahir and one is the batin. One is the outer, one is the inner. The outer one, we've all got things. For example, you've got the sajjada or the musalla where you're praying salah, you've got your tasbih, you've got your salah there, you've got your Quran there and so on. These are outer things. The inner thing is much more important in some ways than the outer. Because the inner Islam is afu, it's forgiveness. It's ar-rahmah, having mercy. It's al-hilm, having forbearance. It's at-sabr, having patience. It's at-tawakkul, depending on Allah Azza wa Jal. It's al-qana'ah, being satisfied with whatever Allah has given you. These are the inner qualities. Now the child, as he or she grows up, they will pick your outer qualities and your inner qualities. But the inner qualities can affect them a lot more in the long run than the outer qualities. Just remember that. So for example, your child is growing up, they will observe you in how you have your, how satisfied are you with life? What are the things that you're satisfied with? What things do you get really happy with? What things do you get sad with? And when you get sad, how do you react? When you're happy, how do you react? These are things that the child will pick up automatically. And children have been born to copy. Children are born to copy. If it wasn't the case, then humans could possibly, be in your house and they'd probably do anything they want. What makes a human be what we want it to be or be like us is the fact that Allah's put into the fitrah or the natural disposition of a human being is they will want to copy. So for example, if you're now doing tilawa, the human will love that. It's a nice tune coming along. If you've got songs and music, well, that's nice also. If you speak the truth, that's nice. If you say lies to the child, that's nice. Imam Ghazali rahimahullah says that every child is born equally with the potential to lie and to tell the truth. Equally, they have the potential to do justice and to do injustice. Equally, the child is born to hate and to love. Now, it is up to us which buttons we press to teach the child to choose truthfulness over lying. Because the child is capable of both. The child is capable of amana, which is to be trustworthy, and of betrayal and of deception. The child doesn't know the difference between the two. It's his environment and his upbringing that tells him that lying is bad and truthfulness is good. His upbringing tells him that to be trusted and to trust is a very good thing, and to betray is a bad thing. It is upbringing that will tell him that stealing is bad and to give someone a gift is good. These are the upbringings they have. To forgive and to forget are good qualities. To hold grudges and to be stubborn are not so good qualities. And the child learns. Who teaches that? We teach that. But the child will learn a lot more without us even having to give any formal training. So Allah has made it easy for the child. In the first 5 years of his life or her life, they are actually picking up huge things from us and massive amounts of things from us without us even realizing how they picked it up. Okay, so one example is language. Language actually is a miracle of God on the earth. The way a human being picks up language is a miracle of God. Noam Chomsky, who's a professor in America, you might have heard some of his lectures, some of his articles. Noam Chomsky, you can check him up. One of his biggest contributions to modern day research is about language, and he has done extensive research on that and how children pick up language. And what he found is that the way we speak, we're speaking, but there's a lot of structure in our speech. So the verb, the tense, the noun, the preposition, whatever, they have orders. Okay, they have orders. And what we're doing in language is we're saying it in the same order. So for example, I bought clothes. I, the person, okay, bought the verb, clothes, the object, okay, that I bought. Subject, verb, object. He ate food. Again, you have the subject, you have the verb, you have the object. Okay, there's a structure that's going on. What children pick up is they pick up the structure. They've never been taught the structure. and then they're able to make new structures within their heads of language. This is a miracle of God. Okay. Now, what's even better is that a child can pick up 9 different languages simultaneously, as long as as long as the adults in the child's life all speak that one language to the child. So let's say the child had 9 adults, parents, grandparents, uncles, an aunt, big brother, whatever, okay, in the house. There's 9 individuals. Each person speaks to the child in one language, the same language over and over again. That child is able to pick up 9 different languages. Right? Allah's given the ability to human beings. And what we say is that, oh, no, quickly, he's not gonna learn English. He's not gonna learn English. Let's start speaking English quickly, 1, 2, 3, 4, and teaching the child all English. Your child's not going to be backward in English in school if you speak your home, your home language, your mother tongue in your own house. And there's a massive problem right now with this generation. It started with the last generation where they were kind of half-half, okay? Our parents, or some of you, your grandparents, when they came here, they only spoke Punjabi, only spoke Bengali, only spoke Urdu. They didn't actually know English. So their children got a very strong language. They had 2 languages in their system, and it actually, bilingual, and they were very good at speaking both languages. You didn't fail anywhere because of them just speaking to you in Bangla, just speaking to you in Urdu. But their children, so now we're talking about the second generation, those parents did half a job. So they started to speak half English here, half English there, and a bit of their language. So what happened is the language got diluted. And then the next generation that is being brought up now, they're getting like an 1/8 of the amount of what their great-grandparents gave in the system. Now there's a big problem here. What you might not understand right now, but you'll see later on, is language automatically brings with it culture and behavior. It's automatic. It's automatic. The whole tone of the language, the way it's spoken, the attitude, the behavior. Like for example, in English you can say, even if you were jolly, you say, how are you? How are you, right? But in Punjabi you say, oh kya le? Right? There's a whole different thing, because what that does is that language, like for example Urdu, Bengali, whatever, they have a lot more emotion embedded within the culture, whereas this side of the world, the English language, it doesn't have so much emotion. It has a lot more logic, and it's all built in the system. The language brings the culture, the behavior, the attitude, and what you're missing out on is giving that double, the bonus for that child to have 2, the best of both. You're missing out on that opportunity. Bilingual children are a lot more smarter. It's been tested and proven over and over again. Bilingual students or children are a lot more intelligent than children who speak only one language. Okay? Now, I want to ask you that please keep your culture alive, because from your culture, there are certain bad things that are there which you don't want, right? For example, they get too close-knit, they're too close together, this and that, or you want to get away from all of that, you want to live a bit more independently, freely, fine. But your culture from those eastern parts of the world have got a lot of adab. They've got a lot of etiquettes, natural etiquette. For example, in all of our cultures, it doesn't matter what part of the world your parents, your grandparents came from, we have this automatic respect for the uncle, automatic respect for the father, for the grandfather. It's built in the system. That goes away when you've got just English. So, yeah, Dad, yeah, what's up? Or shall I call you, Mohammed? There's that culture. Now, I'm not saying the English culture is bad. No, they've got a lot of positives. Like with that side, a lot of logical thinking, a lot of independency comes. It's fruitful both ways. I think it's very bad to put one language down, one culture down, and stick up for another one. I think it's bad, because all cultures have positives, all cultures have negatives. And what we want is the best of every culture to be in our children. And to be honest with you, living in this country and being in this country, I'm not going to say it's bad, this, that, and some people they say, oh, English, but Zuban got really bad language in that. I mean, the amount of swears in Punjabi, brother, I don't want to start, you know what I'm saying? You know, the man swears in there that I've heard, like my two ears are doing tawbah, you get me? And the same as Bengali, if you want to go to the Silati, Bangla, you know, sort of place in the villages, my God, the lyrics they have to cuss one another, you think, man, I need to be born again. You know, that's how bad it gets. So things, everything's got the positive and negative. So what's my next thing to you after you giving a good sense of language? And look, with language, you just need to be consistent. You don't have to speak, you don't have to formally teach them any language. There's no grammar, there's nothing to, just speak it. As long as you speak it, they will pick it up. Children will pick it up. And they will pick it up free of charge. You're giving them an asset for life. And please don't miss out on that opportunity. So early years, what do you want them to do? Look, some parents get very excited and they want to put, you know, they want the children to learn, you know, huruf and learn the letters and learn tajweed and become hafiz at the age of 4, probably imam by the age of 6, if they could, okay? It doesn't happen like that. Look, you might hear one child in the whole of the north that actually did hifz at the age of 6. And there are real examples out there like that. One child finished at the age of 7, the whole of hifz, mashallah. But you know what? That's an exception. That's a total exception. Then the whole community says, oh, if you can do it, then all our kids can do it. Hang on a minute. Not every kid, no one's like, I mean, Allah's given that gift to that one child. Don't think that every kid's going to get up there and become a hafiz by the age of 7. When your child or some other child, you're trying to teach them the letter Ra. He's already 7 years old and he goes, Wa. You say, look, say, run, rabbit, run, rabbit, run, run, run. He says, one rabbit, one rabbit, one. And you're trying to get it out of him. You know, I'm telling you, I'm giving you real examples. I mean, he hasn't even developed his Ra yet because he can't get his tongue there. Now, the thing is, don't kill the opportunity of them learning. Yesterday, Jummah, a brother came. He said he wanted to enroll his 2-year-old to private tuition, right? Islamic private tuition, right? He said, what can I do? I want some Maulana, someone to come, and 2 years old private tuition. So I said, what do you want him to do? Change nappies. What's he going to do? Change nappies. You know, he's going to babysit. What else is he going to do? How do you get Islam at that age? Look, how you get Islam at that age is you just become a role model. Look, kids will naturally come to you at salah time and they'll stand just like you stand. They'll do anything they see. If you jump about all day, they'll just jump about all day. If you stay calm, they'll have that quality inside them. Whatever you do, they'll do. But don't get too excited with a 4-year-old next to you standing in salah and you know what parents say, mashallah, my child, he puts a topi on his head and he puts a musalla at his little musalla. And when I pray, he prays, so he's so cute. The same kid, if you put